it's Guido coming at you with a tactics talk. A little late today on a Saturday. It's been a big weekend. I've had a good time. A little too good. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for the support of the channel. As always, we have Mad Dog back in the not often seen Hawk 30. It's a little premium tier 8 light tank. Can fight a lot like a medium tank. Of course, it has no armor, and it is extremely fast. Interesting gun. At times it feels like it's amazing. Other times it feels like it's a little derpy. He's got 10 HE rounds. He has 10 heat rounds, and it does carry a heat round with some decent pen. And he's got some, I believe it's APCR as a standard round. So we're looking at 1,000 meters a second, 240 alpha, 187 pen, 250 with the heat round, which is decent for a tier 8 medium tank, or sorry, light tank. Also over 1,000. And then this one is 7,755 shell velocity. So the HE round is a little bit slower and can trip you up. It's got 102 pen though, which is actually pretty good. So Mad Dog sent me this game. It is on Muravanka Dorf, Himmelsvanka. And he's going to head over here to the Magic Forest. And he says, you may have some fun with this one. Don't think games get much closer than this. Definitely a hard-fought battle on both sides. I watched it, and absolutely. So we're going to dig through this as much as we can and see what we can learn out of this battle. See what we can learn from losses. So I already given away the plot. We know exactly what's going to happen at the end, but we don't know how we're going to get there. It's much like Game of Thrones, all the prequels. You know what's going to happen in the end. But, oh, we've got the bug. We've got the, hold on. Stupid bug. Ooh, okay, we're back. Sans turret bug. So he takes a couple HE shots in there, trying to get the light tank sort of raging around. The reason I mentioned the shell velocity is because I watched that, and sometimes it throws your timing off. I know I have issues with it when I get used to a certain velocity. Also, when you jump around in tanks, a lot of times you don't realize the different velocities and lead fire required for different tanks. Just something to think about right there. In general, HE shells will be slower, so if you give a little more lead, you're probably okay, unless you've actually looked at the specific speed zone. You know, man, is that like a primary consideration in the game? Well, as you get better, you start to think about things like that. And if you can try to not miss a few of those shots, it can make a difference in the long run. So we shoot HE into the 59. I don't know if we meant to or forgot or whatever. I do that all the time. So we're still kind of hanging out with the HE here. I'm not really sure. Maybe it's the Lance and C he wants to punch. Not sure right there, but we are ready to put the APCR in next. There's a Barask running around, so let's see if this works out for us. No, we missed that one, and probably not enough lead fire right there, be honest. Whether that's just because of the way we aimed or because we weren't sure about the HE. That's the thing about some of those small little nitnoid things like that. It's hard to tell. Usually you've got to have the player there to talk about it if you're doing debrief style stuff to figure out what was in their head, even if they remember. So he's doing a nice job here in the Magic Forest. Strangely, the enemy team hasn't really come up here very much. And this is going to be important for this actual game because what happens is they have a considerable number of guys that are hanging out in the back, as most teams do. And Mad Dog's team is going to give up a lot more hit points for map control than the enemy team does, and it becomes a problem later. Oh, excuse me, I told you it was a large. It's been a large weekend. So we do a nice job getting here and sneaking a shot in the lance, and we're just basically kind of creeping around these hills, trying to get spots. I think it's smart not to rage around the back. There's so many guns left in the game, there's no reason to just... It'd be tempting to go in and push those two and help his team take him down, which I think he's going to do now just to get rid of him. So he's risking some shots right here. There goes the Barask raging about. And we eat a shot from the Rev. Now he's going to play an important role much later in the game. Unfortunately, we don't get any hit points off him, so he's full hit points, and he's going to show up later full hit points. He just fades back into the forest. He runs away because Mad Dog's team has won the east side. Now, how many times have you seen this happen from both spawns on Muravanka Dorf, Himmels? Bunches, right? And what do I say every time? What's the best plan here? Don't go pushing into their campers. Their campers aren't playing. It can be tricky because it is a fairly even game right now. If you do all bail out of the forest, they could retake it and become a problem and now start flanking you. So I don't think it's a case of everyone needs to bail out, and generally not everybody bails out anyway. You know, if you were in an organized fight right here with a caller, he would probably post somebody up, maybe let someone like Mad Dog and a scout, just to make sure they don't come back. Now you'd probably have already gone all together anyway, so but you get my point. If you dropped a caller in this game right here and said, all right, what do? Probably pull some guys back to go deal with the middle and where the rest of their big tanks are, which is going to be over on the west side. And maybe leave a guy here to make sure they don't retake the forest. Or if they try to, that you get some forewarning. So the scouts are raging around. We spent some time trying to mess with these guys. There's a lot of hills over there, little kind of undulations that he's hiding behind. He's right on the north edge of the map. Scorpion's down in one of those little dips. And it just takes a while to kill this guy. We're trying to get some lead fire. I think these are all pretty appropriate shots. They just don't happen to hit. I think some may have actually hit the ground because he was behind stuff. And he finally dies to the Scorpion G actually gets him. So I think Mad Dog's doing the right thing. We're going to come back across, take a look at the situation on the map. We already discussed the idea of not pushing. Now, notice that the two mutants are headed down there. When I saw this the first time, I paused for a second. I went and checked the relative skill levels of those two guys, because what I expected to find was two bad players. What I found was two very good players. If you're going to do things like that, and you're good, and you have a platoon, that helps you leverage that strength and work together. I think still, though, that those guys should not have pushed in there. And it looks like Mad Dog's team is in a really good position right here. This looks like they're in a really good position, but they're down some hit points. And they've got a lot of armor to chew through, and they don't have a bunch of armor themselves. And just kind of look at that. There's a 703, the 100. Even their mediums are fairly well armored. Mad Dog's team is really light, other than the mutants. And this is the tricky bit right here. This is always the tricky bit. Pushing into guys that are camping, who are holed down, or on the other side of hills like this. And we're kind of getting roughed up, right? We lose a mutant down to the south. We lose the 6x6 that was scouting. And now that mutant is kind of out of the fight. That sucked. We get a couple misses in here that's going to really kind of hurt us later on. So we're going with the HE, trying to punch the Scorpion. We really kind of mess around here for a very long time. So I don't know about this, Mad Dog. One thing about working positions like this, and you do get some hits out of them and some spotting, but you'd spend a lot of time messing with this. And I'm not really sure where you might go otherwise. A couple things I thought was maybe go around the edge over here and use some of these bushes. And see if you can't see some of those other guys back here hanging out. Maybe get some shots potentially. Maybe even help kill the 100-01, because he's the problem right now. If we can get rid of him, then we can push back the vision a little bit right here. At the very least, we'll have that big gun out of our way. So we really do kind of screw. And I think maybe you were trying to figure out a way to get to the Scorpion there. We're at 1,500 damage, though. We are 2,000 hit points down. Now the 703 sort of comes in here. Starts thinking about making a move. Down goes the STA-2. Ouch. And now we're down a tank. And a bunch of hit points. The mutant's stuck down on the south, and we're kind of in the middle. See how they actually have a pretty nice defense right here. And generally you can tear those up. Generally you can tear those up, but we don't really have the tanks to do it. They basically have a stronger force in a defensive position. That Astron timed that nicely. I don't know if he guessed or if you were still lit coming up. I didn't do the timer. There's a few perks and things, I guess skills and whatnot, that can change the time that people are lit. And that's kind of tricky. So generally, if you count to 10, you're probably okay-ish. But I want to say somebody did a video on it, maybe Mendez or possibly 4 tankers. And what did it go up to, guys? 15 seconds, 17, 18, somewhere in there, depending on the various different things that you could put on the tank for that particular skill. There we go. That skill or perk. So it can't surprise you right there. So I think from here, my general comment on this is, I think if you had it to do it again, you might have probably investigated a few more places or angles on this potentially. Like, this is just really dangerous right here to me. just out on this flat. And that blew me away that you got that far up and nobody just happened to poke out and see you at that time. Here they come now. And he's just aiming. I don't know, dude. Was he looking for you? Did he get lucky? That was crazy. He's just staring right at you right there. I think he spotted you as he came out. He spotted the top of your hatch just like you spotted him. And when you came forward to get the shot, he was already aiming in to take a shot at you. But I will say right here, the nice thing about all this is you are actually spotting guys and getting them dead. So this AC is a good kill to get him out of the game. 274 Alpha. Man, this guy becomes a thorn in your side. He takes some hits, and he just sits up on this hill. We'll let you guys see it when we get there. He actually gets in a pretty good position. Mad Dog takes him a while to figure out how to peel that guy out of it. And he's, again, much like the 100-01, he's anchoring the position that all the campers, which are going to pretty quickly be down there in the southwest corner hiding. I like this. I thought you were going to kind of come around here and maybe dive down low and start working through the buildings. And then, man, this was dangerous to me. I'm just blown away you didn't get spotted doing that. But I think the rest of them have pulled back so far. The Ferdinand is well in the forest. There's the 274 Alpha. This guy makes a huge mistake. I like this just waiting, and then once he was a one-shot, we kill him. And then get moving. Yeah, agreed. Just get down. Just in case he spotted you or somebody else did. We get down low, so that was a huge kill. We get rid of that. Dude had a lot of hit points. That went a long way towards evening it up. Somebody else took a hit. Now here's the 274 Alpha, guys. Check it out. He's behind this dead Hulk. So he's doing a really nice job hiding out right here. And Mad Dog knows if he just comes up and over that hill, he's probably going to get killed by one of the three. I mean, he's at 33 hit points. That's something we didn't really talk about, but being able to keep a few of those hit points so you have a better opportunity to maybe make a move late game right here. So he has to be extremely careful. So we've got him trapped in a corner, but we don't have a particularly strong force in terms of hit points. Look how many hit points everyone's missing. The Scorpion G is hanging out back here. We got the guard. We got Mad Dog right there. I mean, there is a potential. Unfortunately, the team sort of gets to these spots and they don't really make any other moves. Be nice if the guard pulled back and maybe came around and come over to this low area corner right here. He might have been able to sneak some shots down and around and whatnot. But everyone just sort of sits in the same spots right here. There's several bushes along this edge Mad Dog could use. There's this one, and there's this one over here. The danger on this one over here is if there's somebody hiding out in this area, which there probably is someone in these bushes over here. So you might highlight, you might be able to, Mad Dog, come all the way around here and look in one of these bushes, just especially this one here. Just sneak forward a bit and see if you can't spot the guys back there. Because you're going to have a hard time peeling this guy out. Maybe just leave him for a second, right? Head over to the left. See if you can look in those bushes. And here's another option. Because of your speed, maybe go all the way back this way to the east, come all the way around the south, and maybe get into these bushes with the mutant and potentially spot over here. But I can tell you just want to get rid of this 274 Alpha, and that's not a bad plan, but holy cow, he kills the Scorpion. I mean, the guy just kept poking. I don't know. There's no way that Scorpion should have made himself available to that dude shooting him. I mean, really what he could have done is he could have come all the way over up top over here in one of these bushes, or all the way back here, and maybe even get shots on this guy. I don't know. It was just frustrating to see him die right there. So we're trying to peel these guys out of a defensive position. Look at all the hit points they've got. They have 3,000 more, it looks like. Obviously, potentially those three could have taken a hit or a blind shot, or they took some damage that Mad Dog wasn't around to see, wasn't close enough to see, but it turns out they didn't really. So he moves over to this bush, doesn't get anything. Gotta be very careful. I'm not even sure how far over the hill the box, the I don't know, camo box or concealment hit box goes on that hill. I like that. That was great. He wasn't really looking. You hadn't been spotted for a while. So hopefully that Ferdinand wasn't staring at that bush. Probably not. I bet he was looking towards where the guard and the Ferdy was. And now it's feeling like, okay, we got this, but holy cow, let's be careful because they have a lot of hit points to chew through. come up over here, look for a shot. We get away with it. That surprised me. I'm not really sure why we did that, Mad Dog. I mean, I don't know how you got away with that, to be honest. That you almost didn't. That guy just took a poke at you. Or somebody did. He's not looking. That's also happens to be where the Rev is. So now we're going to start taking shots here, which is good. RNG's not being kind. Centurion's doing a decent job. I'd have been careful. That was a little scary. I guess you're not spotted because you're not blowing up. I think you get spotted here, I want to say. Nope. So even the Ferdy can't see us, so we're doing a really nice job with this. Notice Mad Dog has husbanded his gold rounds, his special rounds. Done a nice job there. The guard actually dies. Now the Ferdy's kind of coming in. He's going to switch to heat just so he has that nice pen and look for maybe the upper superstructure right there of the Ferdy. It's a great kill. And then somehow you get spotted. So somebody uncovered from a bush. Maybe this guy came forward just enough from the bush or where he was. Or the Ferdinand got just close enough. I don't know, but you got spotted right there. And they kill the Centurion. So now it's a 2v2. But look at the hit points. Everyone's a one-shot on Mad Dog's team. And we keep doing this from the same spot. All right. I think the last thing I would say, man, you know what where I would have gone? See this bush right here? I think you could have got on this little area here and actually shot from the bush without being spotted. Now, they might have been able to do some, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Do some blind shot kind of action right there. But it would have been better than kind of coming up here and them seeing you, I think. You are using the Centurion for a little bit of armor. That's actually nice. Oh, and then the guy. I don't know if he blind shot or actually saw you. Your Sixth Sense did not go off as you came up, but you might have died so fast that it didn't go off. And then, unfortunately, Nesdal, Peko, Miko, whatever that means, is going to get killed. He actually kills off the Rev, but he doesn't have enough hit points. And the T-26E5 finally pushes into him, right? This is what camping players do. When they're absolutely sure they can do something, they'll push forward. 3,452, 1,226 in a really close game. Well played by Mad Dog right there. I think the biggest thing we could learn from this is maybe in a couple of those cases we could have done a better job of changing the angle and changing the fight just a little bit. But as far as the mechanics of the spotting and being really careful, pretty awesome job right there. And then obviously, end game like this, if we can maintain more of our votes in terms of damage, that would be good. If you could have taken that last hit, obviously, you guys would be still fighting in there, all that good stuff. So there you go. You know, you can learn a lot from losses, especially if you kind of break them down. Stop them every once in a while. Look at the mini-map. Say, all right, where's my team? What am I doing? What was my plan here? And then how did I execute that plan? The old OODA loop idea. And it's nice to apply that to replays, to debriefs, because you can stop for a minute and go, all right, here's what I did. Got to this point. I think here's a couple other options here. It's not a case that you're going to say, well, if I did this, I win, or I do this, I win. You don't know. But all you do is debrief the point at which a mistake was made and come up with a better plan. So that in the future, when you get to that point, maybe you execute it better or you execute a different plan that works. There you go, guys. Have a good Saturday. We will see you tomorrow morning, Sunday, for Coffee Talk. Later.